Welcome to I Support Your Business show with your host and host Mithil, a pod made exclusively to share the journey of our fellow community members of I Support Your Business Indo-Canadian community to the world. The main aim of our community is to practice the power of giving, facilitate collaborations and partnerships, and help collaborate people on a global platform. As your host, being the president of the community committee, as well as the founder and chief content alchemist of VIH5 Content Lab, I help solopreneurs, artists, and coaches build their business online through content marketing. Today, we have a wonderful member of our community and a very awesome friend of mine. Let me welcome onto the stage none other than Sagar. So, Sagar, can you share with us your childhood?
My childhood, absolutely. Childhood were one of the loveliest days. No tension, no stress. Just live as you are. Be bubbly, be happy. All you have to worry about getting good grades. But yes, 90s were those days where you used to love living, the environment, the culture that was around, the city that you are in. I being one of the youngest one in my family, was blessed to be living a happy life, playing all those video games, watching all those TV serials, TV cartoons in those 90s like Tom and Jerry, Flintstones, and whatnot. We had Richie Rich. Those lovely days are still very much memorable. I think that's about my childhood. A fun, happy memory. Yes, also some days were like those school days, especially where I used to have very few friends, but one of the best friends ever. I still meet my school friends, those bestest friends. And more than friends, I had teachers who were my friends, talking to them and meeting them. And now when I meet my school friends, it's all different. You know, just imagine celebrating Friendship Day, tying friendship bands in school. Today, it rarely does happen. So that's a fun memory of those childhood days.
In fact, you took me to my childhood days, watching cartoons, playing games, and the best time of our life. But yes,
Exactly.
going ahead, Sagar, if you can share with us when and how did your professional journey start?
I remember I was around 18 or 19 years old when I had dropped out of my college life, out of my academics, and I didn't really know what to do. That is when I got to know about a forum called Toastmasters. That's when I really started figuring out life, figuring out how to meet people, what to talk when you meet people, appearing on stages, talking to people on stage, making your public presentation. That's when exactly when my entre- entrepreneurial journey or a professional journey started. That's when I got to know that where do I really want to lead in my life? Is it public speaking? Is it some other entrepreneurship event that I want to do in my life? Where do I want to proceed ahead? So Toastmasters helped me develop confidence. And when I was in that journey, I started realizing that confidence building is something that many of us need. Being presentable in public, but being confident in public is much more important. And if you are confident, then you can achieve anything and everything. That's when my professional journey began. I started meeting a lot of people. I started networking. Otherwise, being in school days, being in those college days, you're all about fun. But when you want to achieve something in your life and build a career, you start and go and talk to people. You talk to them about career. You talk to them how you can collaborate, how you can bring business into your own career in life.
Got it, Sagar. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. Being professional, public speaking, and the confidence that we need is very much essential. Because now, whether you're creating content or you're doing business meetings or meeting with people, public speaking is something which is very much important. So, Sagar, if I have to take you in the journey, when did you turn into an entrepreneur? If you can, share some light on that.
I remember myself being a freelance coach, helping people develop confidence. Those days, I was simply being a freelancer. I wouldn't say I was an entrepreneur. I was coaching people so that they could train themselves into public speaking, so that when they are out on the streets, they get to say a hi without those shyness or without those thoughts of how will I say a hi. That is when I was at my office and I realized I need to build something, and I really need to go beyond just being a freelancer. And that was then there was an era of book cafes and studios, and that was around 2018, 2018, when I started giving a thought, when I started building something at my space that was then called a book cafe. So 2018 was a time when I started Create Book Cafe. In 2018, 2019 it got started. 2019 it was named Create Book Cafe. We started as a multi-purpose space where people could create content, where people could come and sit and work. If they want to have a silent space to sit at and do not worry about the hustle and bustle of the life that goes around, this is the space. Today we've refined a lot of things and I've built it to a co-hive studio. So 2019 was when I started the studio. Life took a turn towards entrepreneurship when you start thinking of investment, when you start thinking of returns, when you start thinking of all those monthly expenses, factors that involve how do I get beyond the monthly expenses? How do I start saving beyond the expenses that I have? When you start calculating loss, gross profit, net profit, that is when you turn an entrepreneur. Additionally, being an entrepreneur is when you start taking risks. You know, this month will get you 50,000, but you want to jump to a lakh rupees now. That is when you start being an entrepreneur, start thinking beyond your thoughts. And I believe 2019 was a start to it. And today, when I've transformed it into Co-Hive Studio, where people come and record podcasts, do events and exhibitions, workshops, I go and meet and talk to a lot of people. Let's collaborate. I talk beyond Pune, in Mumbai, Delhi, etc., where they could come here and do events together. We could host and conduct exhibitions, events, workshops, and a lot of things. That's when the journey of entrepreneurship began, and it's going till now.
Lovely. Thank you so much for that, Sagar. Sagar, can you share the story behind the brand that you have created? Anokha Sa by Sagar.
Absolutely. So Anokha Sa by Sagar is an extension of Kohive Studio, wherein we bring in everything that's Anokha, unique. When we say Anokha Sa, it means anything and everything that's unique. We started building Anokha Sa with the thought of why not connect with people and their emotions? Why not start bringing things and merchandise which could connect to us as human beings? We started designing merchandise, we started printing them, we started giving a thought on how, on an emotional level, can we connect to a thing, to a material, a t shirt that could resonate to you and me. would connect on an emotional level, would connect on a personal, deeper level. When I started, I was usually thinking about just designing gifts and gift hampers. But I always had a thought that I want to go beyond what I'm creating and beyond what people are creating in the market. That is when the thought came that it should connect and create new memories for you. If you have been gifted something today, that day, that moment should become a new memory for you to talk about, to you to carry your memory forever. So, Anokha Sa, we bring t shirts, hoodies, gift hampers. Let's say you are a foodie, we will curate a hamper for a foodie. We will bring in all the things possible into a hamper that you would love. A t-shirt with a quote, proud to be a foodie, is something that you would love carrying if you're a foodie. And let's say if your friend gifts it to you, you'd say that your friend remembers you, remembers your personality, and wants to connect on a deeper level with you, not just giving you or gifting you a watch. So that is
Wow,
when
this is a very
Anokha
unique.
Sa.
This is a very unique idea. Sir, now the next question is, let me take you back again. Can you share the initial days of handling your business? How were the initial?
Initial days of my business, absolutely. I that's very that's an intriguing question because I remember when Anokha Sa and Kohive started, being a solopreneur is an absolute challenging task. When you don't just manage the curation of things, you also go into networking, you also go into managing sales, you're also the social media guy, you're also texting your clients of the inquiries that you're receiving. And those initial days were extremely tough when you have to do everything and still manage running your business every day. Even if you have to go and clean your space, that's an element that you cannot forget. In the initial days, and even now, if you see, even now, I do clean my space. I do all those things that I used to do in the initial days, not forgetting that we have to stay to the core. And multitasking is extremely important. Those initial days taught a lot of things, where what to post on social media, how do you write a caption, what hashtags do we need to use, learning and implementing were things that went side on side. Additionally, when you have customers who you need to serve, for whom you need to create hampers, or for whom you need to design something, and then you have to print on it, all those things were to be handled. When you do not have anybody to work for you, and let's say even if you're collaborating with someone for printing or for designing, getting in touch with them to see where the work reached, because you have to deliver it to the client with perfection, and that is what a client pays us for. Those were those initial days where even I used to sit with doing designs. Canva is one of the rescue elements, and I know how I have learned a lot from you on what and how to design on Canva.
Thank you so much,
And
Sagar. Thank you.
and going to YouTube and learning from YouTube, if we make an error, how this design does not work, what software to use, how to use the software. That's how it went.
Lovely. Nice to know that, Sagar. Thank you so much. So, Sagar, can you share in this whole journey of being an entrepreneur, what were the various hiccups and what were the learnings that you had being as an entrepreneur?
I'll talk about some hiccups first. When you get inquiries for a bulk order, but you cannot deliver, and you have to say no for it. Sometimes you do not have a good designing skill in hand, or you cannot pay to a good designer. When you have to start building your things, you have to say no to a lot many things, even the revenue and profit that you're going to make. Many a times we have to lower on our prices just because we are starting up, or just because we are in this competitive market, to be able to build ourselves and to be able to build our business. So these are a few hiccups, like saying no to customers, not being able to serve efficiently, taking a lot of time on a initial few orders, getting to know what and how to serve people. And when you say about customization, if you get into the market, the actual market that's there today, that exists today, they'll get it customized in 1 to 2 days. And to start with, you take 5 to 7 days, which is one of the reasons that clients say no to you. And when you do not get effective, efficient clients, when you fall short on business. So these are a few hiccups that I've been facing and had faced. But then later, talking about those learnings, you don't have to do everything. When you have people whom you can collaborate with, put some time in, let's say 3 4 months or something, and get to know whom you can collaborate with. For example, if designing is something, get to know some designers processes and the timelines. Get well communicated about your timelines and their timelines. Do some sample work with them so that you set a good timeline for both of you, and you can then serve your clients quickly. Next learning I would say is have your process. You should know your own process. If I am printing something, I need to know what my process is and what time it will be taking. Initially, I was zero about the processes. Exactly with regards to social media as well. When do you post? When do you manage your business? When do you take orders? What is the time that you communicate with clients online or on calls? These timelines, processes, systems were set only after I started working on those things. And lastly, on the learning, I would say that even you've taught me very well, that have a very clear why. You should know why you are doing what you are doing, and focus on those few things that you really want to do. Don't run to 10 different places, because in the initial stages, to be able to survive, an entrepreneur tries to do anything and everything possible.
Totally agree with you, Sagar. Yes, your why needs to be absolutely clear. Then only you can become the CEO of your brand. And when I say CEO, I will say Chief Everything Officer, because you have to supposed to, as a solopreneur, you have to do everything. So you are a Chief Everything Officer, I would say. Thank you, Sagar, for sharing that. So Sagar, you have
Exactly.
been an entrepreneur for so you have been an entrepreneur for a very long time. Can you share the 5 things that you feel an entrepreneur must have in their business?
5 things. Never give up. The first thing, never give up. There would be times when you would face tough times. You would feel like I should give up, but never ever do that. Second is something that comes to never giving up is ask for help. If you don't know what to do and how to do, always connect with people. And there are people who would help you, who would advise you. And there's no harm in asking people, I am stuck here. As I mentioned, know your why is a third part. Your why and your USP should be very clear. If it is taking time, take some time out, but write down why you are doing that and what your USP is. The fourth element is whenever you're serving your customers, serve with full commitment. And if you're committing something, give what you've committed. Because if you lack there, you would never get clients back. Or people will definitely know that somewhere or the other you're missing out on something. And once you're able to give, then and only then commit. And finally, one of the best parts, be open to saying no. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you know or if you think that you cannot do it, say no. Some collaborations could also be said no. So always have that thought, maybe something can get you 2 lakh rupees, but that will definitely create some hiccups for you, or that could create some hiccups for you. So be able to say no to some things, because somewhere you say no and you do not do what you don't have to just for that money part or for any other part, you will go the other way, which is the right path for you.
Well said, Sagar. Thank you for that. So, Sagar, if I have to ask you, how has being an entrepreneur changed you as a person?
Taking risks is one of the biggest element, or even thinking of taking risks. If I was in college days, I would just be a happy go person, not thinking of anything and not aiming at anything. Being an entrepreneur helped me discover life, discover this place I am in, building something of my own, and getting into that entrepreneurship spirit, or even looking at life in various ways. Because as an entrepreneur, you think of surviving, from the survival part to a happy path. You take a lot of risks, you start making decisions, you start thinking of a lot of elements of how you can help your family, of how you can grow yourself, of how people see your personality, of how your personality can be shaped much better, and how you can help this place to make a better world. You know, from entrepreneurship, that risk element, if I'm earning 10, 20,000 a month today, to reaching 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, or even aiming of reaching a crore rupees is what we start thinking of. And that's what I've learned. Always aim high. I remember a conversation when I was having a conversation with you. I spoke of earning 15,000 rupees a month, but then you said, why 15,000? Aim of 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees a month. Don't aim small, and then figure out what steps would you need to take to reach that level. Those are some learnings.
I'm so happy, Sagar, that our conversations, my coaching has really helped you a lot, and I really wish you the best in life in the future too.
Thank you, Mithil.
So, Sagar, do you really think is there any success mantra or a potion to establish the business?
Success potion or mantra? I personally don't believe that. You just need to be on your toes, keep your spirits high, aim big, have that not giving up attitude, and keep learning at every stage of your life. Like every day, there is something to learn about. Just keep writing, just keep that focus around you, and keep looking around you. I think there's no success portion or success mantra because every person is doing it in different ways. If we go to attend a seminar, that's a breakthrough seminar, but we then come back and try and implement our own way. We make some business out of it, and that's when we see, oh, this was one of the mistakes that I made, and this is what I need to avoid, and this is what I need to do better. I think that's what we just need to do. Keep figuring out, keep experimenting around. One fine day you will find your own mantra, because mantras are created by our own selves once we start getting those success elements. Just keep going ahead, push yourself at every stage. If you seem there's some lack of push, have some friends around you who could tell you, like, go ahead in other ways, who would message you what are you exactly doing with yourself or with your life. And that's what pushes you then. So have people to push you, and set reminders every day. What did you learn today? What did you achieve today?
So, Sagar, before we end this particular episode, what is the one message you would like to give to our community members as well as to the audience?
One message to the community members and to the viewers. I've said this 2 to 3 times up till now. Keep pushing yourself, do not give up, and find that time for yourself. Take that so called needed break for yourself, and you will achieve everything. And do not go for what the world will say or what will people say of what are you doing. You know what you are doing is much more important. So keep going ahead.
Wow, that is a really a wonderful message. Keep moving forward. And yes, that is a very essential part in the life. I would say that's the mantra that every solopreneur always keeps in the heart while doing business on a daily basis. Thank you so much, Sagar, for taking your valuable time and sharing your journey with us. I'm sure you can be and you would be an example to so many.
Thank you, Mithil. Thank you so much for the encouragement. Keep encouraging.
Surely. So you have just listened to I Support Your Business show with your host Mithil. Thank you so much for listening to our show and giving so much love. Don't forget to subscribe to our show on the podcast platform that you are listening. This is Mithil signing off at the moment. Until next time, meet you soon with another guest and their amazing stories. But until then, keep rocking, stay safe, and don't forget to keep creating content. Ciao.